Imagine this. It's the month of March. The gyms are empty. The journals are half filled. 90% of the New Year's resolutions are already crashed. Why? Because we all, you and I, have been sold a lie that success demands grinding until we break it. But what if I tell you that self-discipline isn't about willpower? It's actually about building a flywheel, a system that is so effortless that momentum is automatic and intuitive within ourselves. And that gives us an opportunity to rewrite the rules and break some stereotypes. Today we are building habits that will withstand burnout, chaos, and that devilish snooze button. Welcome back to the UnfoldLearning Podcast. This is the part 2 video of the self-discipline. And if you're new to this channel, this is the space where we deep dive into the aspects of self-growth, growth mindset, and personal discovery and self-development by breaking the stereotypes. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay. Stanford researcher B.J. Fogg discovered something radical. Willpower drains like a phone battery. So why do we really set goals? Like read 1 hour daily. It's like sprinting a marathon. Instead, start with 5 pages, just the 5. And that's what James Clear, the author of the book, The Atomic Habits, calls out. Tiny gains compounded daily creates systemic and a long-lasting change. If you miss a day, by the way, don't bother. Don't have guilt, because progress isn't a straight line. In fact, it's a heartbeat. It's a sinusoidal curve. Where we drop the ball with habits and the consistency with the habits is because we kind of think it for a long term. We kind of think it as an overarching aspect. But the whole idea is to shrink it until the habit becomes laughably easy. Write a book becomes type 1 sentence every single day. That's how your flywheel starts spinning. So let's actually deep dive and talk about how this flywheel could look like and how it can gain momentum to drive consistency and that intuitive aspect in us to drive our habit, essentially with respect to the self-discipline. The 3 gears to turn effort into an automation, into an intuitive system. Number 1, start ridiculously small. Make it so easy that you really cannot say no. Habits aren't about dramatic transformation overnight. They are about tiny but consistent inputs and actions. Want to read more? Start with 1 minute a day. Want to exercise? Commit to a 10-minute workout session every single day. James Clear, in his book, Atomic Habits, calls this the 2-minute rule. It's about making the entry barrier ridiculously low. Number 2, the second gear of the flywheel, anchor to routines. Habit stacking is a secret weapon. Don't try to invent new habits into a new slots all in one day. In fact, think about a habit that you are already in and stack a new habit to it as if it piggybacks on the prior habit. For example, after brushing your teeth, you may want to choose to meditate for the next 5 minutes. And after that 5 minutes, you would want to write a journal. Or maybe after brushing your teeth, you have your cup of coffee or tea. And while you are having that, you write 5 minutes in your journal. That's called as habit stacking. And then you can follow it up by writing the list of priorities for the day. Right? That's an essential aspect of how you anchor your habits. Number 3, fuel with joy. This is extremely important. You hate running? Dance instead. You want to lose weight but you don't like going to the gym? Do cycling, do swimming, do anything that you really enjoy. Well, a lot of research suggests that if you enjoy the process of being in a habit, a particular habit, it will last 3 times longer. Habit building isn't actually about ticking the boxes. You don't follow a particular habit because you have to. It is actually about you want to. And it's important to go back to why do you really want to. It's important for you to connect it to your own vision, your own growth, and your own purpose. Habits that are driven by your own values and the vision for yourself, they stick with you, and you really don't have to make an effort to be consistent at it. Or feel guilty when you drop off the bandwagon for a day or two. By the way, I'm going to tell you how to even deal with that. But what I really want you to leave with is that if you're wanting to incorporate a habit, think about why that habit is so important for you and why do you really need to get it in your day-to-day life. Because if you don't do it, you will miss out on the most important aspect, which is joy. And remember, joy is your fuel to be in pursuit of that. Thus far, we spoke about how we can really create our flywheel that will help us drive the momentum and make the process of incorporating habits more automated, more intuitive, right? Now, let me tell you some more strategies, or call it the tips, that you can probably apply to ensure that you are sticking to your habits, to ensure that you see through your habits till the timeline that you have committed to yourself. Let me share with you 3 key things that has helped me over the past few years. Number 1, hijack your environment. Your environment controls 80% of the choices that you make. You want to read, you have to ditch the phone. Leave a book on your pillow and not your phone, and then see the difference. You want to eat healthier? Hide the chips, or don't even get the chips at the first place. Design your space to make good habits thrive with you. Number 2, the 2-day rule and identity shift. Life happens, you're busy, you have a lot of things to do on a given day, and you skip a day, or rather, you miss a day of pursuing your habit. But here's the secret: never skip twice, which means never miss a habit that you have committed 2 days in a row. And here's the deeper shift: stop saying that I need to do this, I have to do this, I should do this. In fact, you need to start orienting yourself to say that I am this. Let me give you an example. I need to go to the gym versus I am someone who values a healthy physical life. Right? That's the orientation shift that you would want to keep. For example, I have to read a book versus I am someone who enjoys reading. Now, that's what will help you to have that identity shift in yourself and kind of help you to see through with the consistency of a habit. So remember this: never skip a habit that you want to pursue twice in a row, and start having that orientation shift with what you tell yourself about that particular habit. Remember, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Studies have found that identity-based habits are 3 times more likely to stick with you. Okay, the last one, bursting the perfection myth. Well, I have fallen into the traps zillions of times, and trust me, it's not worth it. It's just the hype that's being created around. Number 1, the grind culture is a lie. It doesn't work. It's not about willpower when you think about pursuing your habits. It's all about the systems that you create around yourself. Consistency is not about being in a robot mode. It's course correcting. Miss a day, you're a human. Burnout happens when we worship perfection. But consistency, it's compassionate persistence. Remember, I repeat myself, it's consistency is compassionate persistence. Fell off the track, nudge the flywheel. 1 sentence, 1 Scott, 1 step, 1 line. It's about those tiny aspects that will get you to move your flywheel again and again. Tiny actions build unstoppable momentum. So I hope this part has helped you to understand what it really takes for us to ensure that we are being consistent, we are being intuitive with our habits. I'm sure a lot of things what we discussed or deep dive into you were all aware of, and that's what it is all about. At times, few aspects like self-discipline, persistence, consistency, we tend to make it more complicated than it actually is. It's about those small things. And if you ask me, the nutshell that I would want you to leave back with is focus on the process, focus on the small steps, small actions, and those small things. On that note, let me request you to take away these actions and kind of do it for yourself. Comment one habit below that either you are pursuing or you would want to pursue. Number 2, share this with someone who feels stuck and who you think, needs this flywheel to get moving, get that momentum going. Of course, subscribe to the channel because part 3, which is about hidden triggers that kills our productivity, is coming soon. At the end, I would say that you really don't need to be the great, the perfect to get a good start. You just need to start. Think about your flywheel, embrace the flow, let it unfold, embrace the process, and greatness is out there. One tiny habit at a time. Building successful habits is not about being a productivity machine. In fact, it's about designing your environment. It is about reorienting yourself. It would support your physical, mental, social, economic well-being and unfold your true potential. It's not about the grind. Remember, it's not your willpower. It's about the systems. That's my time. Thank you for being there. This is your host Kaustav at the UnfoldLearning Podcast. Please do subscribe to the channel and see you soon.